Miss Real Talk, Miss Real Talk. They don't know my name. Miss Real Talk. Miss Real Talk, Miss Real Talk. You don't know my name.
You don't know my name.
Real Talk, Miss Real Talk, Miss Real Talk.
You should have had me on that video. You don't know your name. I know your name.
They don't know my name.
Hi guys, this is your hostess Monica Alvon, aka Miss Real Talk, guys, and we're live. Yes, Friday Night Live, guys. And guess what? I got the man right here, Preston Brown, known as Famous Brown. You can check him out on Famous Brown TV. Every Sunday night. Well, he said club night is really Saturday night, but right. Sunday night at 2 a.m. and Mondays on 5 a.m. on the CW network. And now also on WCIM 1450 a.m. And guys, it's going to be a great show. We're going to talk about saving our cities. And yes, Preston Brown is running for the 74th district. Yes, Preston Brown, you hear it. He is here and he's going to talk about his candidacy and also sheriff. Yes, we might call her Sheriff Irvin. Yes. She is a great woman that had ran office prior in 2013, and she's trying to take over from Sheriff C.T. Woody. So guys, she's coming up later on in the show, but it's going to be a great show, jam-packed, great action, great studio audience, and a great crew that's going to be here to tape every Friday night here at Liquid Studios at 9200 Stony Point Parkway. And guys, before I get into our episode, make sure you support Real Talk with Monica of Night of Elegance. Yes, on May the 6th. It's going to be here live at Liquid Studios from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. We got a fantastic fashion show. Yes, we got RVA designers that are very talented. And we got E.W. Fleming Ross. Yes, E.W. Fleming Ross. If you don't know, Earl Fleming is a fashion commentary icon makeup artist that have been glamming up women here in the RVA area for over 30 plus years. And we got CJ Richardson, an up and coming comic. You might know him. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. You know, he's go pretty viral on some of his videos when he talk about those Giants and those Redskins. And he's going to be hosting the Comedy After Lounge from 6 to 9 p.m. in his group, Craig Watson in the Lyric Avenue. And it's going to be a great time. And also, if you get enough on Saturday, you can come on out Sunday at May the 7th for a Touch of Class. Yes, a Touch of Class is right there at 5103 Thrush Lane. And it's going to be the full preview of the fashion show, then an after show party with Twive Singer. And then my home guy, KP himself, Kamal Patton, line dancing, and also we got Melvin MG on the returns of 1 and 2. And guess what? We got some more entertaining lineup, dancers, you name it, jam-packed. And that show is only for $25. And get your ticket now. Go to Eventbrite, look up Night of Elegance, and that's what we're looking for. So guys, let's get the show going with, I guess, Preston Brown. Guys, if you don't know Preston, get down Brown. This man, he's famous. Yeah, Famous Brown. He has did James Brown. Man, he can do, maybe I can try to get him to do the James Brown move before he leave out here. But anyway, this man is a comedian. He's a wrestler. He's also, he's running up for election, and he's running for the 74th district. It's from the Charles City, Henrico, and parts of the city of Richmond. And guys, let me introduce you to the man of the hour. Get down, Preston Brown. Welcome, Preston Brown, for Real Talk with Monica.
Thank you, Real Talk with Monica. I see RW Group just came in the studio. It shocked me. That's my man. But I want to say good afternoon to everybody, and I'm glad to be a guest on your show. Right. And being on your show, I know I finally made it to the big time. Don't
even go there, Preston Brown. Guys, if you don't know this man, he's a big supporter of Real Talk with Monica. He's actually a sponsor for the up-and-coming Night of Elegance. And Mr. Brown has always did a lot of great things for people, giving them opportunities. And we want to see, y'all Real Talk viewers going to see if maybe y'all can vote for this man coming up in the election. It's going to be a highly contested election with incumbent Lamont Begbie. But I don't know, Preston Brown, he's a fighter. So he, like he said, he's going to fight for the people. So, Preston, can you tell our Real Talk viewers a little bit about yourself?
There's not much to tell. I'm just an old country boy, born in Southern Pines, Virginia, and just me. I don't have much to say about me. I have a lot to say about you. And when I say you, is when a person runs for office, they always want to sit back and tell you what they want to do. Very rare do they ask, what do you want us to do? And when you're elected to represent the people.
Right.
And some of the people we've been elected, I don't know who they represent, you know, and I don't know where they get their ideas from. And when do they come to the community and ask the community, what do you want? What do you want out of your General Assembly? What do you want out of your city council representative? What do you want out of your school board representative?
Right.
Where they come and tell you, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And when a person decide to run for office, it's got to be something in their heart.
Right.
Just like a minister or anybody else, they get an urging in their heart that they want to be a preacher or they want to be a teacher. You got to have it in your heart first. And then when you start doing it, you got to put 100% in it. You can't change halfway through the cross the bridge. And a lot of folks, they say a lot, but I don't look at what a person say. I look at what a person do.
Okay, Mr. Brown, let's talk about Lamont Bagley. Now, I was looking at an article at Style Weekly in 2009, and it was quoted as him saying, I see him all over the city and all the times and day and night.
See who?
That's what that was quoted about your candidate. So when you say you see him all over the city, what do you consider that statement to be?
I mean, who said they see him?
That was a statement.
About who?
About Lamont Bagley, your candidate that you're going against.
I mean, what he's seen all over the city?
Yeah, day and night. Like he does a whole lot for the city. He does the school board. He, you know.
Well, that's fine. You know, I think anybody who come out the house is all over the city. But this race is not about him. His term is up. And just like anybody that want a job, you have to reapply. He has to reapply for that position. And in the meantime, anybody else that want that position has the opportunity anybody has who want a job. You have to apply. And then you try to pick the best person out of what you have to choose from. And right now, we only have two to choose from. That's him and me.
Okay. Well, I was looking at some of the bills that he introduced, and like, for instance, HB 1923D, and it's like a virtual Virginia. It's about classroom education. HB 192 about public schools and suspension. And basically, I've seen a lot of things geared to school, after school programs. So if you was to be elected, what would be some of your agenda that you would have?
Well, my first agenda would be Virginia Power. Wherever you go in this city, whether you're in the county or the city, people are complaining about high light bills. And it's not actually the light bill that's high, it's the extra fees. So one of the bills that I would look forward to putting in and hoping that the other 99 delegates can see the light is to remove the extra fees. I understand what the extra fees are for. And they know because they're the one that put it in place. The extra fees on our bills came from the General Assembly. And to break it down the way it really is, the State Corporation Commission controls the rate for utilities. And they estimate a certain amount of money that Virginia Power can gross every year and be fair to the consumer. Now, several years ago, everybody got credit on a light bill. And we're jumping up and down for joy. Oh, we got credit on our light bills. But it wasn't actually credit. It was restitution because Virginia Power had overcharged everybody on the light bill. So in order to make restitution, they gave credit back on your light bill when they should have gave you cash. Because you work better with cash than you do credit. All right. Then the state corporation put a freeze saying, well, you can't have a rate increase. Now, Virginia Power donates money to all Democrats, all Republicans.
I'm glad you made that point because when you ran for state senate back in 2011, you made that point when you had a candidate debate when you was running against Henry Marsh, and you were saying he was given $30,000. That's what basically.
Well, you know, I don't really want to go back there, but since you brought it up.
Yeah.
And Famous Brown, keep it real. When I ran for the Senate against Henry Marsh, I looked at the donations, and I was very hard on Virginia Power because of the amount of money that he donate to quiet our senators down and our delegates. You have 100 delegates and you have 40 senators. 140 people make decisions for all of Virginia. Now, when Senator Marsh, when I ran against Senator Marsh, he spent $250,000 to win that race. 30,000 of it came from Virginia Power. Now, if you look at it, here you have a young, energetic, cool candidate who don't mind speaking out, saying, look, we need to tap Virginia Power, spank them a little bit and put them in line, and then you got a senator that's been there 20 years and say, oh no. So who do you think Virginia Power is going to give some money to keep what they have going? Not me. They're going to give it to the bought and paid for senators and delegates. And if you want to go back and do your research and back up what I say, go to the Virginia Electoral Board and you can pull every senator and delegate record and look at who donates money to them.
So that made a good question. Have you checked out Lamont Bagmeese, who's been donating to his candidacy?
Yeah, I checked him out, but I'm not going to talk about him.
Okay.
Because his job is up. And I'm not going to get into mudslinging and stuff like they did Joe Marcy when he ran. I'm running on the fact that the seat is empty because 2 years, his term is up. He did what he thought was best for the district when he was in that seat. Now, if you think he did a good job, you go and vote for him again. But if you want to see real change, if you want to see someone who's not afraid to stand up to powerful corporations like Virginia Power and say, look, these light bills are too damn high. You need to cut it. And it can be done if people stand up.
So that's a great opportunity. What about job opportunities, Mr. Brown? You would think you might want to get more opportunities for jobs.
Look, I'm 63. 63 years ago, A. Philip Randolph, Martin Luther King, and other leaders were fighting for jobs and justice for all people. 63 years later, when I was born, and now I'm here, in 2017, I have to get up here and fight for jobs and justice for all people. How far have we really came? Now, in the 2017 session, it was 3,022 bills presented at the General Assembly.
Okay.
600 and some were passed. Whole lot of bills, a lot of foolishness. We don't need new law. We need to go back and redefine some of the laws we already have in place. Because amending a law that already exists is easier than trying to bring a new law into place. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, you made a great point, because when I was looking at your candidate, Mr. Bagby, it just seemed like you said, it was a lot of school bills, but I don't see anything about any jobs. I don't see anything about police harassment.
Most of them, go look at the record. Most of the only thing they do is commend people, dead people.
Yes, we did. And
I'm going to represent people living.
Yeah.
But they commend a lot of dead people and commend schools and organizations that donated money to them. And those are not real bills. And a lot of them say, well, we need to tighten up on criminals and increase sentences. I think we need to create more jobs and increase minimum wage. Then you'll start getting results. The cost of living, everything is going up, and your paycheck is staying where it's at. And either we're going to have to raise the pay or cut the expenses.
That's good.
That's common sense.
That's common sense.
And I'm doubly qualified for the House of Delegates. You know why? You want me to tell you what the qualification?
Why?
You got to get 125 signatures and been living in Virginia for a year. I've been here 63 years. and I turned in 300 names. I'm overly qualified.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Brown. All right. Now, I checked out a video that when you had went to a candidacy and you had said something about is that if you don't like to go around talking about gay rights. Okay. How do you feel today? Have your position changed about gay rights? And
What do you mean change?
Well, I'm just asking, as you when you ran in office, do you still feel the same way about the candidacy about gay rights, that it should be an individual's choice, not a state right?
I'm for everybody's right. Everyone has a right. You have a right to your opinion. You have a right to live the way you want to live. That's how America was started. They came to America because they didn't like the way they were living overseas. They wanted a new land. And now we're still fighting for our rights. And you want to talk about some rights, you need to go talk to them Indians.
Well, let me ask you a question now. Let's talk about President Trump. Do you feel like some of your rhetoric about being an outsider, a gunslinger, you know, like you running as an independent, you're not paid?
No.
You're not paid. Do you feel that?
I'm running as a person who can think for himself, don't have to follow a party and take orders from a party. If you're dealing with a party, you're dealing with trouble. If you look at the last election, how they were stealing ballots in the last primary down in Petersburg, that's the Democratic Party working. And if you really want to talk about the party, Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, John Mitchell, for those in Richmond, all of those were Republicans. When Johnson signed the Civil Rights Bill in 1968 with Dr. Martin Luther King, the Republicans passed it. The Democrats fought it. So we don't know our true history. And when they passed the Civil Rights Bill, not only did they give us the right to vote, get on the bus, they had economics in it. In 1968, they passed a Section 3 tool, which guaranteed work for minority contractors when any money was used from the federal government, and it hasn't been enforced since 1968. So we got some good laws and we got some bad laws. So we need to get in there and get some raid and spray and blow out all the bad laws, and let's work towards the good laws that were placed. See, you have to realize that laws were made in different segments of life. At one time, you had a lot of rednecks making laws, hate laws, and they had hatred in their heart. And some of those laws are still on the books. Now you got a new generation coming in here. We need to go back and kick some of them laws to the curb or improve them. That's how Delegate McQuinn got money for the Lumpkin Jail Museum.
Right.
Because they were giving money to keep the Confederate cemeteries clean and wasn't giving money to keep the black cemeteries clean. And she caught it.
I'm glad you made that point. And you know, in your district, it's going to be primary African Americans. So if you look into that camera, why should African Americans vote for you rather than your candidate back?
Okay, in my district, we have African American, we have Spanish, we have white. We have Democrats, Republican, Tea Party, Liberal Party. I'm representing the people. I can't be bought. I'm 60-something years old. What I want to buy now, I bought everything I want. I had all the fun I want. But we need to have me. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, I'm the candidate for you. I can't be bought, can't be bossed, and my decision will be for the best of the community and not Dominion Power, Verizon, and all these big corporations that have been ripping the community off for years. Now it's time, like your Bible said, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. Corporate America been first all these years and we've been last. It's time for us to be first, and let's put them last. Let's take care of our kids, our schools. Let's take care of our veterans. Let's take care of our senior citizens. I'm P.T. Brown. I got the spirit of Frederick Douglass, the compassion for the people like Martin Luther King, and the backbone of Malcolm X. When I get to the General Assembly, it's going to be hell.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be Hellraiser Brown running things, guys. So, guys, let me introduce you to, coming up, our next guest is Antoinette Irvin. Yes, Antoinette Irvin.
Sheriff.
Candidate Sheriff Antoinette Irving. She's coming up, and she was named as one of the highest ranking women in history of Henrico County Sheriff's Office to take aboard. So guys, let me introduce you to Candidate Sheriff Antoinette Irving. Welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
So can you tell our Real Talk viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Antoinette Irving. I am born and raised here in the city of Richmond. I'm from Creighton Court, now from Churchill, and just love this city. I love the people of this city, and I love the things that the possibilities that the city has. I'm a college graduate. I'm currently working on my doctoral degree in criminal justice management, and I just can't say it enough. I love this city. I want to make sure that everyone has equal opportunity. And just because you're incarcerated doesn't mean that you can't have opportunity. Opportunity starts with hope. And if we continue to give people, just say, go out and get hope, and don't give them the opportunity, then we fail. So we don't want to fail people. We want to make people a productive citizen. We want to make sure that people can do better, be better, and become a part of what everybody else wants. Their big time American dream, as Mr. Brown may say.
So, what things or lessons you learned from the previous time you ran for sheriff office to now? You can tell our viewers.
Well, I've ran twice, Ms. Monica.
Yeah, twice.
I've run twice. I've ran once as a Democrat, and I've run as an independent. I've learned that people are just going to be people. It's very unfortunate that some people vote out of fear or don't vote because of fear. Some people don't assist you out of fear. I'm running because I love this city. I'm running because I could have been one of those people that are incarcerated. I grew up in Creighton. I grew up in Churchill. I went to a historically black college. I am the face of the majority of the people that are incarcerated. Why is it that I would not try to help them? I've learned that people may not look at who's the best qualified a lot of times. They look at the face that they've seen in the community for a while. And I don't know why people haven't seen my face. I'm 52 years old, and my face has been in Richmond since I was born. I only left Richmond for a short period of time to go to school. I've worked in Henrico County. A lot of people say, well, you're from Henrico County. No, I'm from Richmond. I live in the house that I grew up in after I left out of Creighton Court. That's my home. And I've learned that only thing I can do is keep telling the people who I am. Keep telling the people what it is that we can do collectively as a community. And hopefully the people will realize that I am the best candidate and I am the best person to make sure that the individuals that are incarcerated are better citizens when they come out.
Well, let me ask you something. Let's get ready to talk some real talk. Now, going back, why people continue to vote for Mr. Woody? Now, he had controversy practice of hiring family members. He had the situation with the young lady had filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. The new jail project had, 12 relatives after he said in 2005 he was going to get rid of them but still have them on the payroll. And then the sexual assault charge. You know, why do people continue to vote?
You know, put on there that he didn't spend money with the only black pharmacy in the city of Richmond.
Yeah, I know you were going to say that, Mr. Brown. Mr. Edlow, yeah.
After he promised to do it, and he gave me that promise to me that he would spend money with a black pharmacy that's walking distance from the jail. You got 98% of the inmates that are African American, and you got a pharmacy that you won't even buy aspirin from.
Well, Mr. Brown, I'm not sure about all of that conversation that you and him might have had. The only thing I can say is I'm not sure. I don't understand it myself. Why would you continue to elect someone or put somebody in office to serve you, the people of the city of Richmond, that has these complaints? Up until this year when the article came back out, people didn't even realize that we've paid millions of dollars for these lawsuits for inmates that have died in the jail. The suits always come up. Nobody never realizes what happened to them because they're closed and they can be closed. But now it was over $10 million spent on lawsuits for deaths in the city of Richmond. Recently. You know, the thing has always been, you get a new jail, all these problems will end. Problems haven't ended. Problems seem to be multiplying. His family members, yes, they are still there. What happens is, somebody brings it up, they move them around. So that people just don't understand where they are, what's going on with them. I'm not sure, Ms. Monica, why it is that we continue to vote and put someone in office to serve us as a people, because that's what that office is. We're serving the people. We're serving the people outside that elect them, and we're serving the people that are incarcerated. I can't answer that question. That's a question for the people.
That would be a good chance. So if you to get this high-ranking position, do you feel that you would be better served for the city of Richmond? And if you was to be in there day one after the election, what would be the first thing you would change?
It's not all about change. It's about analyzing what's going on in the system, trying to make sure that individuals have the best health care, they have the best services for the mental health, because most of the people that are incarcerated, unfortunately, have some type of substance abuse or mental health problem, and we need to make sure that they get the best possible services that they can to come out and be healthy citizens. Those individuals that may not be coming out and going into the Department of Correction to serve a sentence, we still want them to be healthy citizens simply because they have kids at home. And we want their children to be able to look at them and say, even though my parent is incarcerated, they are good people and they're providing a good role model for me as their children. We want to make sure that that individuals can be the best that they possibly can be. We want to work on the workforce programs. I was just talking to the workforce, and workforce is all in line to help those individuals, not when they're just getting ready to get out. Because my thing with reentry starts at the impact of the individual and the criminal justice system as the law enforcement officer.
I'm glad you made that great point, because I had a young man named George Epps. He had got his voting rights restored with Governor McCullough, and first thing he said was he felt like the system sets you up for failure once you get out. There's nothing that's lining you up because you're still labeled as a felon. And I guess you're going to try to bridge a gap to kind of, you got your rights back and you got productive people. Another thing we got to talk some real talk is also driving with these enormous fees. Now, how can a person be able to work if they can't drive and get transportation? Now, we got GRTC, that's true, but if you want a good paying job, what about these people that need transportation and these unnecessary driving?
Well, that's in my department.
See?
Taking a person driver license because they hadn't paid child support or a fine came from the General Assembly. Okay. When they did away with parole, that came from the General Assembly. It came because they thought they could make tons of money putting people in jail. They went and built a jail in Southwest Virginia and never put the first inmate, and it paid almost $1 million a year of maintenance just to keep the jail available, because they thought that a lot of y'all folks were going to jail, but you didn't go to jail.
Well, from my understanding, there's something in the works now that will work on that you can pay your fines down and still be able to work, and that's what we want to do. We want to make individuals ready to work when they get out. We want to connect with the nonprofits, we want to connect with the small businesses, the big businesses, the corporations, and get people ready for work. When they walk out that door, we want them to have a job. We don't want them to have to go looking for a job. We want them to be job ready so that they can provide for their family and be a productive paying member to society.
But I think you was hitting the point about losing that driver license, can't get to the job. So all that's got to work together. And if you're listening, you see that the sheriff is talking from her heart, and not from, hey, I'm the sheriff and I'm gonna rule the new sheriff in town, and when I walk down the hall, you got to turn your head to the wall and salute me. She's talking from her heart, and she with that type of attitude, who better could you get to be your next sheriff?
So basically, I'm seeing that it's like a tag team type of thing. I'm just saying. But I'm saying
it's not a tag team.
But I'm saying about working together.
Right. You got to get people that can work together. You can't. Hey, when you divide it, you can't accomplish. You already divided when you walk in, because you got a Democrat here and you got a Republican there, and nobody want to meet in the center and say, look, let's solve our problems. It's not about what the Republican Party wants or what the Democratic Party. Let's solve our problems. And then when you have someone like the sheriff, in November you'll be the sheriff. I'm sorry, I apologize. But when you have someone who sincerely have the interest of the people in their heart, they'll make a better servant. So elected official is a servant, even though we're gonna get paid, but we're a servant. And you can see that not only is she well qualified mentally but she's qualified in her heart to do the right thing.
Well, Mr. Brown, I'm glad you mentioned the part about working together. My thing is about relationships.
Right.
And I know a lot of people say you can't run the city like we ran the county, but
Right.
you can. It's about building relationships. Right now, there's an issue with the other agencies, other law enforcement agencies and other city agencies, other county agencies, whether it's Henrico or Chesterfield or Petersburg, not having good relations with the city of Richmond.
Yeah.
And we can't get things done if we don't have good relationships. And my thing is about relationship building. We want to build relationships with the mayor, the school board, the city council, and other agencies, other law enforcement agencies, because we have to work together. Because again, this city, our city, is full of poverty. I've grown up in this city in poverty and found a way to work with other people in order to make things better. Now what we do is we want to blame the system, we want to blame a lot of different things, but it's all about relationships. We have to build each other one at a time. We can't build everybody up in one day, but what our goal needs to be is for us to build on somebody. Find a young person and work with that young person. Stop complaining about that young person and mentor that young person. If we had more mentors with our young people, we'd have less young people getting in trouble and being incarcerated. It's our job as individuals in this city to take care of our city. Put me out of work as the sheriff of the city of Richmond. The less people that are incarcerated, fine with me. My goal has always been, and you can ask anyone that was in Henrico County when I talked to those inmates, make me unemployed. I don't want to see you come to jail. I want to see you be a better person, and I want to help you get the tools to be that better person.
So what do you consider some of your values coming up? Let's talk your family side of things. Where do you get your values, and that can give our viewers a little bit of how it brought to you to be maybe sheriff of Richmond?
Well, my thing is, I've always grown up around people that worked hard. I've always grown up around people that want to do good for other people. Regardless of how much it is that we had as individuals growing up, it was you always have to look out for others. It's not just about you. It's not about being selfish. It's about everyone in the community. The more that we can do together, we can get done. But when you try to do things selfishly and just for yourself, then things don't normally work out. And sometimes you're not going to do well. Again, I've ran twice, and with that, I've learned. However, even though I know that this job is the job for me, what I say is, in the meantime, while I'm working for this job, what I'm doing is working and still serving the people of our communities. I work hard every day trying to make sure that the young people in my community can be better citizens. I work hard every day in my community to make sure that the senior citizens in our community can just last a little bit longer, spend a little time with an elder. My grandmother taught me it's not about you, it's about other people that surround you. When I was off in school, my thing was, there's always angels watching over you. There's always somebody that's going to take care of you. I learned a lot at the Boys and Girls Club growing up. Once I moved out of Creighton, we moved into around where the Boys and Girls Club was in 37th Street, and those people looked out for me. If it wasn't for those people being my angel, I would have been one of those kids in Richmond detention or either in the city jail, because you have to have somebody to look out for you. And people say, how can you be the sheriff and always want to look out for other people? What does one have to do with the other? It is, you serve people, you look out for people, you give people hope, and the main thing is that you give people opportunity. Opportunity builds better people. And with those opportunities, all the relationships that we have with other people will make our city a better city.
So you made a great point, Ms. Irvin. Now, this is your third time around.
Yes.
Now, after you took a loss, how do you feel? How did you feel when you took that loss? You just say you can pick yourself back up. You know how you went in a fight with the same bully. You know, you just pick yourself back up. So how you feel this time going around for the third time?
I feel really good about what we have in place. There's a lot of talk about us as far as what it is that we're going to do. Being the leader in the sheriff's office, and that's what they're lacking, good leadership. There are a lot of people in positions that are not supervising anyone, and not doing anything, and are not qualified to be in the positions that they're in. I feel good about us because we're prepared to put people in place that's going to make a better situation for the people that are incarcerated as well as for the individuals that are working there. You shouldn't have to work in fear and intimidation. You shouldn't have to be bullied to get a job done. We all have to work together so that we can do the best possible job we can do for the citizens of this city.
So they basically, the inmates can have an open door policy to speak to you if they feel like some things are going wrong in the city.
There's nothing
In the
wrong.
jail.
There's nothing wrong with having open door policies as far as the inmates coming to see you, or whether it's the subordinate staff coming to see you. But the best thing to do is have things in place where people won't feel that they have to step over top of the people that they're around every day to get things done, because it's a fear factor. And if you can only get the sheriff to get it done, then what's the use of having everybody else? We all have to work as a group. We all have conversations about what it is that needs to be done. Yes, people can talk to me, as individuals know that have been in Henrico before. Come and talk to me, because I'm gonna come and talk to you. I like walking around the jail. I like talking to the people that work for me. I like talking to people that lives inside of the jail. Why? Because those are the people that you get the best information from. You can learn from them just like they can learn from you. And it's my responsibility as the leader of that organization is to take the hits, but also take the pluses. And you can't do that unless everybody's working together to get the job done. We have to build better citizens while they're incarcerated. That's the best time to help them, because they're sitting still.
Wow, man, you speaking a lot of real talk.
She's good.
Yeah, she's good.
That's our
I would
sheriff.
love maybe we can put a challenge to CT Wood to have a debate here.
I'm gonna give you some history. I'm gonna give you some history that you don't know
Okay.
about the Richmond City Jail.
Okay.
And if you go on YouTube and put in Preston Brown at the Richmond City Jail, I was the first person to film a talk show and a TV show from the Richmond City Jail when Sheriff Winston was there.
Oh goodness.
And that's how far it go back. So, and I did a weekly radio show on WFTH from the jail.
Wow.
And then I taped a show that we put on, it was Continental Cable back then, and I taped the show and put on Continental Cable, and they got videos of it. If you put in Preston Brand at the Richmond City Jail, you'll see that.
Wow. I tell you, this man, he seems to amaze me.
He never seems to me. But Ms. Monica, I just want to say, and you say, how do I keep getting up every day? Because it's about the people.
Yeah.
Being an athlete in the past, it teaches you how to.
Wait a minute. You shoot some basketball. I can see that. Look, she got that bow leg and the approach. I know she can shoot some hoops now. So that's why you have that leadership mentality.
Have that leadership mentality. Yes, and I did play a little bit CIAA basketball. There's no other basketball like it. But it teaches you how to be resilient, how to bounce back. And there's nothing like being up against the wall and trying to make things happen when you know that everybody may not be in your corner. It's like Muhammad Ali. You got to come out fighting, and you got to be prepared. And you have to be able to say, I am the one. I am the champion. I am, and I plan to be the next sheriff of the city of Richmond.
So basically, we in the fourth quarter.
We're in the fourth quarter.
The game tied.
The game is tied.
And you're on the free throw line.
I can be on the free throw line or in the corner,
and
whatever it is. The only thing you're going to see is the bottom of the net, because it's that time.
It's that time.
It's that time.
So you're going to go through them head to head.
We're going head to head.
Okay.
We're going head to head. We're taking a different approach.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to do a lot of mudslinging and all that thing, but it's time for the people to know.
But it's the facts.
It's the facts.
It's facts.
It's
out
facts.
there, it's facts.
There's a lot of facts out there, and we really want the people in the city of Richmond to know that it's time for a change. And change is good. But we want change not because of who he is, but because of what it is that we can do for the city of Richmond. Some people don't want change because they're afraid.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of change. Change is the best thing out there.
So, you know, the primary is still available. If, say, for instance, if it's more candidates to come in.
They can't get in the primary.
Well, the primary is June 13th, and that's when I need your vote.
Yeah.
June 13th, I need your vote. Once the June 13th election is over, and I win in June, then I'll look for your vote on November, because in November there's already an independent candidate that can jump in. For the November election, there's an opportunity up until June, up until the day of the primary, for people to jump in the race.
Right.
But it's no problem. You know, what my main goal right now is June 13th.
June 13th.
That's the date. I need you, the citizens of Richmond, to go out and vote. Antoinette Urban for sheriff for the city of Richmond on June 13th.
And that's real talk.
So, what are some of the things that have you gone and talked to some of the people? Have they? What kind of issues have they been bringing since you've been going to some rallies and meeting people? What's some of the main things that they've been bringing to your attention?
Going out talking to the people in the city of Richmond, first of all, they ask a lot of questions about, are these things true? Are people really dying in the jail? A lot of them just are so out of touch with that because it's the jail. And how do you get people excited or engaged into talking about the jail. It's a tough task.
Yeah.
You know, people say, are those people really dying, or is it that, as it's been said, they're sick when they come in, therefore? My commentary is, therefore what? They're somebody's child, they're somebody's parent, they're someone, whatever, grandchild. They are connected to somebody in this city, and we cannot push them off just to say they were sick when they came in, they're inmates, so what? It's our job to make sure that they're healthy. You know, we have this big crisis now called the opioid epidemic.
Right.
We had a crack epidemic. We had a heroin epidemic. We need to make sure that we take care of people, and they're asking those questions about that. What are we going to do to help people become more healthy?
And you made a great analogy on about the drug situation. I just never understand, how can illegal drugs still get in the jail system? I didn't understand that.
Well,
I don't get that.
They do get in.
Yeah.
They do get in. Whether inmates that are working bring them in, whether there are civilians that work inside the system bring them in, or whether there are people that are actually sworn staff members that bring it in. The barbershop talk is, they seem to know how it gets in. I'm not sure if you can stop it from happening, but you can minimize that. There's equipment out there that you can use to search people a little bit better, actually doing searches, and that comes a part of training. There's some training that needs to be improved down at the city jail, and I understand it's getting a little bit better with the new training staff that they have down there, but we can always improve. And Miss Monica, it does get in. Just like people get sick, people are not healthy, there are people, drugs are a hot commodity. If it's hot on the street, it's hot inside. So you have to make sure that people are very observant to what it is that's going on inside of that jail.
They told me that drugs can get anywhere it's needed.
And that's in the jail.
Whether it's in the jail, on the street corner, in the church house, anywhere there's a need for drugs, it's a way to get it there.
So, Ms. Brown, let me ask you some questions. What have some of the people been saying to you when you went out there to get your signatures?
Not only them, but me. The main thing that everybody's hollering about is the light bills.
Okay.
For some reason, everybody's got light bills right now. And you know, always, all over the years, everybody complain about the taxes, and they want better things done for the schools, you know, but the main thing right now, the biggest issue right now is jobs and those light bills.
Light bills.
And you always know they're still fighting for minimum wage.
Right.
And I was at the General Assembly, not this year, but last year, when Joe Preston, Joe Marcy, a couple years ago, were trying to pass where they were going to move the felony from $200. They put in for $500. I told them put it in for $1,000. Because you can steal a pair of tennis shoes and be a felon. But when they presented the reason why they wanted, the committee, one of the guys sitting on the committee, and I can't think of his name right now, but he was a white guy, he had a bald head, I can tell you that much.
Okay.
And nothing wrong with bald head, but I remember his face. But he said, what do you want to do? Give the criminals a cost of living increase? Now, what is that to say from a delegate who's supposed to be making public policy and doing what's best for the community? Now, if you want to talk about overcrowded jails, you can steal a pair of sunglasses and go to penitentiary. Sell your phone, a felony. Raise it from 200, make it 1,000. If you're gonna steal something, go steal a car or something. But you go in a grocery store, a couple packs of T-bone steaks and lamb chops, you're a felon. So, you know, we got to put a little common sense into what we're doing and try to work together.
A lot of people have talked about that as far as why can't we raise that rate? And it's something that I know some people have been working on, but there's a lot of opposition. And again, we would only hope that in the House that they can work together on that to try to make sure that people have a fair opportunity to survive.
Well, they're going to hear it every chance I get.
Well,
minimum wage, you're going to hear it.
Well,
Virginia Power, you're going to hear it.
Yeah, but let's get back on the drug situation. And also we got to look at the fair sentencing. And if you look at the most fair sentencing that does drugs, and it's the African American community, about the scale of them being sentencing 10 times for somebody that's doing minor things, and that's what we're going to, is that something you're going to look into?
Yeah, but a few years ago, I made a statement that Delegate Bessie Carr put in a racist drug bill. She took it as me saying she was a racist. I didn't say that you were a racist. I said the drug bill was a racist. When they took heroin, because a lot of the white kids were overdosing on heroin, and made a special law. If you're gonna make a law for any type of drug, you have to make it across the board for everybody. Don't make a law just because the white kids are overdosing on heroin and the black kids are overdosing on crack. If you're gonna do it, make it right for everybody. That's what I mean, fair across the board.
Right.
You know, we don't want drugs in our community, but if you're gonna make a drug law, make it for everybody and not just a certain segment of the community.
And Mr. Brown, that's why we want to make sure that inside of the jail that we have enough treatment programs and enough opportunities for people to become healthy, as well as be able to go out and get back to work. That's why we want to work together with all the other agencies in the city and our surrounding area, just to make sure that people have the opportunity to become healthy. It's about being healthy.
But I talked to some inmates that been to the jail, and they have a problem getting to the medical part. You know, they can complain that they're sick, and the deputies don't believe them. You find us? Don't believe.
Well, I'll tell you this: my growing up in the jail itself, because I started at the bottom. I started at the bottom and worked my way up. So I learned that regardless of what conversation you have with them, you can't judge if it's true or not if somebody is sick. You need to make sure that they get treatment. Because at that one time, it's just like growing up as a little kid. We say, you keep crying wolf if you want to, something's going to happen, and nobody's going to be there to hear you.
It happened about
Those
three
are the types
years
of things
ago.
that happen inside of jails, because if you're not paying attention and you're not very observant and doing the job that you've been trained to do, if you've been trained properly, then you won't know what the inmate is doing. You have to learn inmates. You learn inmates like you learn your family members, because you're there with them all the time. So why is it that you don't? They know your habits, so you have to know their habits. And if they say they're sick, you get them treatment, and then you worry about what goes on after. If they're not sick, once they go to medical, then that's a different subject matter. That's just like anything else. However, if they are sick, you want to get them treated. And my thing is, if the nurse say that they need to go to the hospital, then it's your responsibility, it's our responsibility in that jail to get them to the hospital. And that hasn't always happened when the nurse said, get people to the hospital.
A few years ago, an inmate who died in the jail, said he needed his medication. His family members had called to the jail and said he was on medication, he needed his medication, and they let that man sit there and die.
Wow. That's powerful.
That's powerful.
No, that's truth.
Yeah.
That's real talk.
Yeah.
Go look in your history.
And that's happened more than once, that, you know, that's how we've had to pay out so much money in lawsuits, because people haven't been properly taken care of. And we need to make sure that people are being properly taken care of.
Okay.
And that starts with training, and that starts with leadership.
Okay, now say for instance, Ms. Irvin, that if you had a sheriff or, you know, one of your staff members, and you found them treating the inmates improperly or wrong, as a leader, what would you do?
Well, as a leader, it's our responsibility to make sure that they know what it is that they did incorrect.
Right.
Then you have to take different steps. The egregiousness of what the act is goes into how far the training goes. Because all of us make mistakes. We all make mistakes. From top to bottom, we'll make mistakes. And some of those mistakes may be worse than others. But we have to make sure that we first let them know what it is that they've done wrong, and how is it that we can train them to do a better job. But when you continuously make mistake after mistake after mistake, and nobody addresses you about that mistake, you think what you're doing is right. That's like any kid. If you never address the kid and let them know that they've done something that they should not be doing, they're not going to think any more of it. They think it's right, and it builds over and over and over again. But it starts with leadership. If you see your leadership do things inappropriately, then you feel it's okay that you do things inappropriately.
Okay, now
She sounds like she's going to be fair not only with the inmates, but you be fair with the deputies that work at the jail.
Fair, firm, and consistent. That's what they used to say. It didn't matter what type of uniform you had on, that was me.
Now, CNN had did a story like Lisa Lynn, about the daddies situation, the daddy dance,
father-daughter dance.
Right. Is that something that you want to continue to have there?
I think it's a good program so that they can build those relationships. However, we need to go past just the dancing. You know, we want them to have relationships with their kids. They have a mother-daughter tea now as well, and they have a couple of other things. They had, I know Ben Wallace came in and let the guys play basketball with their kids. But we need to build past that, because every year we shouldn't have the same inmates having father-daughter dance.
Right.
What are we doing to help that individual to grow, to get, once they get outside of those walls, so that they won't continue to come back? It's our responsibility as an agency to grow people so that they won't keep coming back, and they have to learn that some people and some things you have to let go.
All right, let's go back. We got like 5 minutes left, right? Okay.
Sure, I'm enjoying listening to the sheriff.
So, Mr. Brown.
I'm boring. I like what she's saying. I'm a boring person, huh?
So, Mr. Brown, as we've wrapped up, as we get ready, we got a few more minutes.
Okay.
What are some of the things that you see if you did get in the office and we looking back in 2 years, 3 years down the road, what were some of the things that you would feel that you want to be accomplished? Like how many bills you want to introduce?
Well, it's not all about how many bills you can put in.
Right.
It's all about good bills. And I'm not interested in commending a whole lot of people. You know, I'm more interested in, look, let's take care of the people that's already here.
Okay.
Let's take care of our senior citizens. Let's make sure our veterans don't have to have a lot of paperwork, and some of them will die before they can get appointment.
Yeah.
You know, this back and forth 3 or 4 hours in line, and they tell you, well, we'll get back in touch with you in 6 months. But they didn't say that when you served your country overseas and fought in that war and came back injured. We want to look out for our senior citizens, which I am one now.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you feel that once, if you get in office, that you're going to have that open door, just like I asked Ms. Irvin, that you're going to have the open door with the people? Do you want, because most people, they say it as these politicians. I see them when
I'm not a politician.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm just a cool dude who have been through a lot, seen a lot, and put my faith, just like you watching TV right now, put my faith in elected officials when they say what they're going to do. No longer I want to hear a lot of talk. Show me. I ain't from Missouri, but show me. You talk, but when you get there, you're altogether a different person.
Yeah, I understand that, Mr. Brown, because some people might say, well, Preston did the comedy, Preston did, he had the radios, the car lot. Why do you think some of these viewers, they're really going to say, to cast your vote, that you're going to really take this serious? Because that had came up a question saying, is he going to really take this serious? Yeah.
Go back, look up Heart and Soul newspaper. A lot of the stories, it's still online. A lot of the stories I wrote. 25 years I've interviewed everybody on city council, been to the station, governors. Bill Clinton called me one time, and I wouldn't even let him get on the radio because the Democratic Party wasn't investing money in black media, not just me. And then at the last minute, when they thought Dees were going to lose, which he did lose, President Clinton called me and wanted me to take James Brown off the air and let him get on and boost people to come out and vote. So racism and economic disaster still exists for the African American community, whether you like it or not. It's there. It ain't going nowhere. But for me, over the years, I've always spoke up for wrong. The city of Richmond gave me the 2003 Visionary of the Year Award. City Council gave me Community Service Award. The Department of Minority Enterprise, the mayor, the governor. If you walk in a radio station, you see all kinds of awards on the wall. Not because we're just a radio station, it's because I speak up. I'm not afraid to say what everybody's thinking about. I'm not afraid to stand up for you. I'm definitely going to stand up for me. I'm a senior citizen now. I got to make sure all our rights are in place because I'm one of you now. So it's not a joke. The joke is what they're doing to you right now, what they have done to you over the years. Now, if you have laws in place that you don't like, it came from the General Assembly. It came from the people that you voted. It came from the people that you put your confidence in, just like I did. I'm guilty too. Because when they come to your church, every time you have an election, when they show up at your churches, in your community, feed you hamburgers and hot dogs, and say, I'm going to look out for you, when will it happen? It can happen in November, because P.T. Brown is going to be there. So get down with Brown, November the 7th. Vote for me, and I'll set this community free. You're going to have the right man in place.
Mr. Brown, where can they get more information about your candidacy or anything?
Listen to WCLM Radio, 1450 AM, any day of the week. Go to my website, put in Preston Brand, I'm there. I'm on CW 65 every Sunday morning at 2 o'clock, Monday morning at 5 o'clock, and you might see me anywhere.
Okay. Sheriff Irvin.
You can check us out on the Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram. We're out there. Just put in my name. You may find some other things about me as well, some of the foundations and community projects that I do.
Yeah, the Antoinette V.
So please make sure you put my name in, Google me, as the kids say. We know you because we Googled you. So Google me, June 13th, vote for Antoinette Irvin, Sheriff, Richmond City.
All right.
And one thing I left out, since you've been looking up my past, in 2011, I presented the idea for Ban the Box. Go back, look at some of my videos. I talked about it before it got to City Council, before it got to the General Assembly. I'm the one that talked about banning the box, looking out for a felon, giving them their rights back. How long do you have to serve? Once you do your time, it's over. Why do you have to continue to serve? You can't get jobs because they got felony written on it. People don't want to hire you because they don't trust you. How long do you have to suffer if you're a felon? I'm P.T. Brown.
All right. It's a great, great show, guys. Like I said, June the 13th is the date for the primary. And like you said, you have candidate Antoinette Irvin running for sheriff, and then you got Preston Brown running for District 74. So please let your voices be heard. And this is a great episode of Saving Our City, guys. So please share this video on Facebook, Monica L. Ball, and also on Facebook, Real Talk with Monica. And guys, this is a great show. So, Ms. Irvin.
Yes.
Mr. Brown,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
I got to get y'all to say this real talk after the count of 3. I think we just spoke up real talk now.
This has really been real talk. And for the young folks, hey, put down them guns and pick up a book.
Yeah, and vote. How about that? So can I get y'all to say it after the count of 3? That's real talk, okay? 1, 2, 3. That's real talk. Continue to support more great things. Check us out next Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. live here at Liquid Studios at 9200 Stony Point Parkway. And guys, you know what? This is real talk, not fake talk, only with your hostess, Monica L. Ball, aka Miss Real Talk. And guys, that's real talk. Great show.
Oh, I ain't got nothing to say.
You had too much to say. How about that? Let's take some pictures.